following
broadcast
has been paid for by the
Sugar World Order. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. Phil here again for my second press conference recap and reactions session.
Buckle up, kids. It's gonna be a long one.
This is, of course, Bethesda, the guys who now for 5 straight years have been doing these major press conferences at E3.
Oh, really?
Pete Himes comes out. He's the head of marketing. Talks a little bit about the last year and the challenges, and then he calls out Todd Howard, and basically Todd Howard, who we all know, the head of Bethesda when it comes to games like Fallout and all of that, comes out and says, well, compared to a lot of the feedback we got over last year, which, first of all, thank you everyone so much for the feedback, because we listened to all of it. We're impressed that some of you are still here. So, ladies and gentlemen, from now on, Bethesda's tagline every year from now on will be, we're impressed that you're still here. They really screwed the pooch from 2018 to this point in 2019, and so hopefully they can make a recovery in the next year, okay? Fallout 76, he says it was a horrendous launch, but thanks to those of you who stuck in there and are still playing the game, because we've had a lot of improvements and everything. The truth of the matter is, and this is what, Todd Howard will never tell anyone, is that Fallout 76 sold well, but was so broken at launch that the vast majority of players, I think the estimate that they said online at one point was over 80% of the people who bought the game never played it again because it was such a broken mess. Even with all the patches and everything, they just didn't care. So you're talking a player base of millions that was probably reduced down to such a minuscule amount of players because the game was so bad at launch.
He's right.
Now, yes, apparently they have actually made efforts over the last year to fix it, but it's too little too late. You cannot release a game that at core fundamentality doesn't work and has so many glitches and bugs and just isn't fun to play, and then expect people are going to stick around and wait for you to fix their fucking game. They're just going to say, screw it, there's a million other games out there we could be playing, and that's exactly what happened with the case of Fallout 76.
Well, he's fairly intelligent. He's full of shit.
But Bethesda will never admit that. Oh, well, we stuck to it, and we're still improving the game, yada, yada, yada. In reality, most people who bought the game never played it again, okay? All right. So first of all, before they go into detail about Fallout 76, they actually talk about Elder Scrolls Blades. Now, for those of you who don't know, Elder Scrolls Blades is a mobile game for your phone.
Oh, really?
This was a game that was supposed to release in the fall of 2018, then at the end of 2018, then in early 2019, and then finally just released on a whim out of nowhere in the middle of the night one night. And it's like, what the hell? Like, like they snuck released it. Ever since Elder Scrolls Blades has released, the vast majority of people who played it have complained constantly that it's too much of a grind, it's far too repetitive, it relies way too much on microtransactions to have progress, and the combat is terrible because you have to play it on a screen, so good luck actively tapping, blocking, and things when you're on a fucking touch screen. It's too hard to do. So in reality, the game's been panned by most people who've played it. There's a small group of people who like it, but most people don't like Elder Scrolls Blades. So they announced there's going to be a vast number of big improvements, alright, coming to the game, including a new jobs that will be in the game.
Only sucker works a 9-to-5 job.
And then the other announcement for Elder Scrolls Blades, it's going to be added to the Nintendo Switch as a free-to-play game, and they actually showed it on the Switch. So when you play it on your phone, you can either play it like this, or you can play it like this. Well, on the Switch, you play it like this on the big screen, and actually show someone actually using the controllers, the Joy-Cons, to play it. And they're like, wow, look, it controls so much better. It's like, yeah, it's an Elder Scrolls game. If you use a fucking controller or Joy-Cons, it's going to control better than if you're just trying to tap your screen like this, and which is one of the major complaints for the game. So innately, I think the game will be just better on Switch by default because you'll actually be able to control it properly. So if you've been playing on your phone all along and you're pissed off that the game's hard to control or you don't like how it plays, you can get it on the Switch this fall for free, and your progress transfers over. So start playing it now because you'll be able to play it on the Switch in the fall and keep all your progress. I'll be honest with you, someone like my
Horse humanoid hybrid
cat, she loves Elder Scrolls. She's been playing Blades, and she's frustrated. She's like, I like the game, but I hate the controls. She might actually want to play it on my Switch in the fall because you could use the Joy-Cons to play it. So maybe she'll actually check that out, right? It may actually be a huge thing. This game, Elder Scrolls Blades, has been panned.
girl. You look so good to me tonight.
By the mobile gaming community as well as the mainstream Elder Scrolls community since it released, alright? Everyone says they hate it. But now, because it's on the Switch, how many people will magically forgive all of its shortcomings and say it's a great game? And I hate to say that, but fuck you, Nintendo, and I mean that sincerely. I'm not kidding you, they wasted that much time on Elder Scrolls Blades. For a short press conference, they wasted like 15 minutes on Elder Scrolls Blades.
The idea.
Then they went on to Fallout 76.
Ooh boy.
So we all know Fallout 76, the train wreck it was at launch. No NPCs, empty world, things not functioning properly, glitchy as hell, not fun, total train wreck of a launch, and no one liked the game, and most people stopped playing it. So, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, they're adding NPCs to Fallout 76. Like, wow.
Fuck you, you're so full of shit.
I love that they try to reason the shit with lore, when in reality it's just fucking happy horse shit that they make up to blow smoke up your ass to pretend like, oh, this is our plan all along. They're so full of shit.
Yeah, fuck you too!
I could do a single stream of it just to play it and see if it's any good at this point. Apparently, they made so many improvements and things I could at least understand what the game is. So I was starting to consider maybe later this week at one point I would do a stream of Fallout 76 since it's a free trial. Why not, right? But then they weren't done yet. Ladies and gentlemen, I swear I thought we were getting pranked or something.
Fucking Battle Royale. They added Battle Royale to Fallout 76.
Why don't we add Battle Royale to Fallout? Why don't we add Battle Royale to this genre where it doesn't belong? And then they did it. They fucking did it.
And it is glorious!
Maybe there'll be a little bit of a spin on Battle Royale, but in general, did anyone really ask for Battle Royale in Fallout? Like, that was a joke. And apparently they didn't get the fucking joke and they're actually adding it. Of course I'm gonna fucking play it sometime this week and do a Battle Royale. Why wouldn't I try that out and see what the hell it is, right? Alright, so that was their big Fallout 76 announcement, okay? So now, no lie, how long did we wait? Did we wait 10 minutes? No. Did we wait 20 minutes? No. We're over a half an hour into the Bethesda press conference. Then there was something good, although admittedly I want to criticize it, to be fair. So, Shinji Mikami comes out. Those who don't know, the creator of Resident Evil, the creator of the Evil Within, I say Evil Within, the creator of the Evil Within, comes out and he says, we have a new IP to present to you, a new game. Ooh, interesting, okay? We didn't hear anything about this. He says it's called Ghostwire Tokyo, and then he has head of his studio come out, a Japanese woman who barely can speak English. He could barely speak English either, so it's very hard to understand, but for what I'm to understand, it's not a survival horror game.
It's spooky.
Now, it's very hard to understand what the game is actually going to be. All they showed was a animated trailer, full motion video. They didn't show any gameplay. But from what it looks like, you're in Tokyo.
Oh, really?
And Tokyo somehow has been overrun by ghosts. Like, some people are vanishing out of the streets, and there's ghouls walking through the streets, and there's this guy walking down the street with a bow and arrow, and he looks like a ninja, and he's like, you don't run from the ghosts, you fight them, or something like that. And so it shows him like she's gonna fight the ghosts, and there's demons and things coming out, and he's attacking them. But it's not clear what it's gonna be, again, because guess what? No actual gameplay. I would have liked some gameplay. Give me 10 seconds of what the game will control like or look like in the real game, and I would have been appeased, but instead they just did this stylistic trailer. So obviously the game must be really far out, and we have no idea when it's coming out yet. Up next, Elder Scrolls Online. Now, you guys know I have zero interest in Elder Scrolls Online. I don't care about Elder Scrolls Online. I have no investment in MMOs.
I really had to take a shit. Well, I went and took a shit. So I gotta take a steamy dump. So I go to take a shit.
Zero gameplay, zero explanation of anything.
I was able to take an entire shit. I literally took a dump during it and missed nothing. Literally took a dump during it.
Alright, continuing on.
So once I finished with my shit,
I came back to the office, and they started playing Commander Keen. What? Commander Keen one of the earliest ever id Software games for PC. It was, I think, a platforming action game from the early 90s. They're bringing back Commander Keen. Okay, I guess that's good. And then they say, oh, it's a mobile game coming out in the summer. And they show a little bit of gameplay of it on a mobile phone. And you're like, oh, well, that's the end of my interest. Maybe I thought it was going to be a good game, on a mobile game. Okay, continuing on. Elder Scrolls Legends, another mobile game. Rage 2. Now, Rage 2, a very divisive game. Some people really liked it for its old school Smash Mouth style first-person shooter gameplay.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
Other people really hated it because it really lacked a coherent and interesting story, had a shitty ending, and had 2 completely empty towns. The game feels completely unfinished. I'm kind of in the middle. I don't hate the game, but I certainly don't love it. I think it's okay. It's just an average game. I liked it a lot more earlier on until I realized the game had empty areas and a shitty plot. So, Rage 2 apparently is getting a new expansion called Rise of the Ghosts. There's going to be a new faction that you fight in the game, new vehicles, and new cheats added, and a new plot line. Problem is, it's not free. No. How about no? How about they should have been in the original game and I'm not paying more money for this crap? Too bad. So that's kind of how I feel about it. You may feel differently, but I wouldn't give them an extra $1 for Rage 2. It should have been in the original fucking game. Wolfenstein. 2 things of Wolfenstein. Number 1, Wolfenstein Cyberpilot is a VR experience of Wolfenstein where you fight Nazis in first-person VR, and that's coming out in July. Then, Wolfenstein Youngblood. It's co-op. You are the daughters of BJ Blazkowicz. It's set in the 1980s, 20 years after the end of the New Colossus, which was the last game in the Wolfenstein franchise.
Oh, really?
The game looks good, although admittedly, the gameplay looked very, very similar to other Wolfenstein games. I really didn't see much innovation there at all. But the co-op aspect might be pretty nice, and the game comes out on July 26th. So there you go. Wolfenstein Youngblood. Arcane Studios, for those who don't know, the developers of Dishonored, as well as the recent Prey from a couple years ago, they got a new game IP coming out. It's called Deathloop, and I have no idea what it is. I know it's combat, but what it is, it's a trailer where it shows one man. He's an African-American guy. I'm assuming it's African-American because he speaks, perfect English. So I'm not exactly sure what it is. In fact, I'm not even sure if it's first or third person because they never said that and it was all a trailer. There was no real gameplay, okay? It seems interesting, but at the same time, I wish they had given more of an explanation of what the game's going to be. The only thing they gave a clue was, it'll be part of like Arcane Studios' signature gameplay, what you expect. I'm like, well, I don't know what to expect. Arcane games, if you compare Dishonored with Prey, the 2 things they had in common, number 1, they were first person. Number 2, 3 things they had in common, excuse me. Number 1, they were first person. Number 2, there's a ton of looting in them. You search every fucking cabinet, crevice, nook, cranny, ass crack to look for some hidden loot. And number 3, they're basically kind of almost play how you want. Both in Dishonored and in Prey, you could choose what upgrades you got for your character, and it would dramatically change the way the game could be played. You could be offensive, defensive, sneaking, platforming, agile, all depending on what things you purchased. So I have no idea what they mean. I guess the game will kind of be like that. They basically took about 5 minutes to keep patting themselves on the back. And when I say that, all of Bethesda basically, we were the first to do this. We were the first to do this. We did this first. We did this first. We did this first and this first and this first and this first. They're like, okay, maybe it was fine the first 5 times you said it, but when you say it 27 times, we kind of get tired of it. Like, okay, we get it. You're great.
I'm not even going to point out the irony here.
They're the first game studio to take their game engines, all right, and try to make them compatible with streaming of gameplay for all these cloud services that we keep hearing about. We just heard about Google Stadia earlier this week, how Google wants to stream games across the internet. Just earlier today, we heard about Project xCloud, the new streaming service from Microsoft, where they're going to try to stream their games to all of you, no matter what console you're on or where you're located. So what they're saying is they have a new project called Orion, where they're trying to specifically take games made by Bethesda and make their game engines in a unique way that you can stream these games over streaming services and not lose quality. Okay, we'll see as things, go on in the future, how these things go. Fair enough? Okay. Then, they said, just as an example, we're going to show you how the Orion works. Someone here is now playing Doom 2016 on a mobile device. And they walk out, they couldn't tell what it was. It was some kind of a tablet. It was much bigger than a phone. So it was probably like this big, a bigger thing. And it was attached to just like an Xbox controller. And they were playing Doom 2016 on it, supposedly. Now, it could have been completely phony. There's no way to tell if it was legit or not, okay? And it was really being live streamed. What the deal was, who knows? But they're just saying, oh, look, it's viable, and we're going to work to do it, okay? So then, Doom Eternal. Basically, this was the ginormous conclusion to the press conference for Bethesda. So Doom Eternal has a new plot line where, yes, you're still the Space Marine guy, but now not only are you fighting the demons from hell, but you're going to be fighting angel characters. They're supernatural. They showed a ghost dog or something. It was pretty crazy. They showed very, very big Smash Mouth style gameplay.
Do you even know what that means?
I noticed there was way more colors in the game than the previous Doom was like a gray and black and red and brown. This game had like all kinds of neon colors and shit going on. And then in addition to that, the game seems to have a lot more platforming, at least from what they were showing, because they did show gameplay. Holy shit, they actually showed gameplay of Doom versus a lot of the other games here. It was just trailer. This was actual gameplay of the game. It seemed like there was a lot of jumping, double jumping, climbing, that kind of deal, which some people might like and some people might not, because Doom typically did not have that kind of gameplay. That's more like Quake. So it almost seems like they're turning Doom into Quake now, which I guess is okay. I like Quake 2.
Oh, really?
So, you know, maybe the more the better, rather than just doing the standard FPS where you're just locked to the ground and you're just shoot, dodge, shoot. Instead, now it's more about double jumping and flying through the air and solving platforming challenges as well to add more variety to the gameplay. Okay, so all that being said, it looks good.
You shitting me?
It looks good to me. I'm excited for it. I really am, and I hope that ends up being as good as it looks right now, because Doom 2016 was quite outstanding. It was a great reboot.
Damn straight.
They say there will constantly be new stuff in the game, even deep into the campaign. It's never going to become boring or repetitive. And also, it looked like to me like there was a lot of new weapons. There was this new hook shot. It was like you hook and pull yourself to the enemy, and it hurts the enemy, but also gives you propulsion in certain directions. Again, the platforming aspect. The game comes out November 22nd. Okay, earlier than expected. I thought it was going to be like spring next year, November 22nd, so earlier than expected. It's going to be a packed fucking November this year, let me tell you. The collector's edition of the game comes with a full-size wearable Space Marine helmet. And one guy in the audience was wearing it, and he looked very silly, but I joked that I should get it, and I should wear it on all of my streams.
Do it.
Probably you...
I sound like this though, so I don't know how you guys are like it if I scream with this. However, you probably wouldn't be able to understand anything that I said because you just sound like this. So
Probably not a good idea for me to wear the helmet.
Do it.
Also, they announced a new mode called Battle Mode, where it's going to be 2v1. Two humans will control demons, while one person will be the Space Marine, and will be fighting these demons. So it's a new mode. Will it be any good? I have no idea. And then they announced that QuakeCon this year is actually, they're going to kind of soft call it DoomCon, because it's all about Doom this year. And they said if you go there, we'll have exclusive gameplay of Doom presented, etc., etc. And that was it for me. Obviously, the highlight is Doom. Obviously, everyone cares about Doom Eternal, and now we know it's coming out this year. That's excellent. I actually really like the fact we're getting a new game from Shinji Mikami that's not classic survival horror. I'd rather do something else. And obviously, you know, Wolfenstein Youngblood looks good. Everything else is kind of like, I don't care about the mobile games. I don't care about the MMO. I'll try Fallout 76 this week since there's a free trial, but I get the feeling after I play it the first time,
Battle Royale, what a gimmick.
I'm probably never going to play it again. I really doubt there's going to be any incentive for me to want to buy this game. Wow, this was very underwhelming again. And you know what I think it is I think at this point, I think we're expecting too much from Bethesda, and allow me to explain what I mean by that. If you remember, when Bethesda first started with these press conferences, they had some ginormous announcements. You know, Fallout 4, the Doom reboot. So 2 years, 3 years running, they were like, bam, bam, we got everything, man. Bam, bam, hitting you with big things every year. And every year we were like, Bethesda wins, Bethesda wins. And then all of a sudden they realized they don't have that kind of level of stuff anymore. You know what I mean? Now they got a following, so they want to keep doing the press conferences, but they can't deliver. It ends up being a lot of fluff, and it ends up being kind of disappointing. You know, are we ever going to get another year like those first 1 to 2 years when Bethesda did their press conferences and we're like, Fallout Shelter's out now. Fallout 4, which you didn't even know about, coming out in the fall, you know? And then last year they tried to do that with Fallout 76 and it backfired because the game ended up being terrible. So I guess we'll see moving forward in future years. But for me, Doom Eternal, 2 thumbs up, looks great. Cannot wait to play it in November. Outside of that, not really that much. So that's 2. Microsoft, very underwhelming. Bethesda, underwhelming. It's like each press conference so far has like 1, 2 things that you may be interested in, and the rest of the press conference,
You could have literally taken a shit like I did.
and missed absolutely nothing.
Maybe I will take a shit for the rest of the press conferences.
Because it seems like I'm not missing anything. I'll just watch it on my phone. All right. So that's my recap and reactions. Thanks a lot, everyone, for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.
The following announcement has been paid for by the
Sugar World Order.
I have ice cream. I have cookies. I have candy, 5-year-old. Everything's okay. Everything is nice. Meanwhile, behind the facade of this innocent-looking bookstore, come here. You have a strong will for one who's only lived one life.